posting your big lifts and DM me for coaching isn't a strategy. It's actually a cry for help. Now look, gone are the days when you could post on your feed a picture of your abs, you half naked on check-in, and your big lifts, your competition, and just get clients. Now, little disclaimer, that is how I built my business years ago. And yes, I hit 10K months organically without any ads. But you have to remember, we are in 2025 and things change. And if you don't change, then you are going to slip down. Now, throughout this video, I want to show you the exact strategy of what you need to put into place and how you can get yourself to be seen by the right people, become aware of you, and actually reach out for help, as opposed to you constantly DMing people, outbounding, and never really getting the right people through the door. So when you look at the way that the industry is set up right now, there are so many different areas of the industry, right? And if you're not clear on the exact area that you are working within the industry, people get confused and you all blend in. A lot of coaches think they don't blend in, but they do. And the reason I know this is because I'm working with people that feel that they have niched down when actually we do a certain few things and all of a sudden, bang, they're then niched down and the game completely changes. But this is what I'm going to show you today is exactly how you can build your business in 2025 without feeling like you are grinding your balls away or feeling like you have to get an agency in to drive a load of ads into your business. And when I say this, like, I have been there, I have done that. I have had VAs, I've done 50 cold call DMs, I've had agencies that have come in and got me a ton of leads. But the problem isn't that. The problem is the fact that you are not set up as a business that is seen by your prospects as a place that they want to share their journey with, and a place that they can see that has everything that they need. And that ultimately is what people are looking for, right? They're not looking for, a lot of people will think that a lot of guys will look at the price and they will look at the coach's record. None of that is actually what people are looking at. They're looking at the journey. They're looking at the journey that you can take them. And that is the really important thing that you need to understand. So as you sort of like look at the way that you run your business right now and where you need to be, we need to fill this gap. We need to understand exactly what the difference is between the two. And I'm going to show you these things. And just a little, for the record, I'm about to go to Spain for a month this weekend. And I've made a promise to myself to do a video every single week. And because I didn't want to break that promise, this is probably the most raw video that you will see today on YouTube. But I'm going to take you through. I've just put a load of notes down. I've got the board there. We're going to turn around and get deep into it. The way I built my business, right, was from exactly what I said don't do. And I'm saying don't do it because it worked then, but it doesn't work now. It was from the PBs, it was from the big lifts, it was from, and I was chasing vanity metrics. I was chasing the likes and the follows and the engagement and everything. But look, that does not pay you money, does it? That doesn't make a difference to your bank account. The only thing that makes a difference to your bank account is your bank account, is what goes through Stripe or whatever you're using. But you need to think about, like, the way that you do your marketing needs to be genuine to you. So again, copying others is not genuine to you and you're not confident with what you're delivering. But also it needs to be the message focused on the client, focused on the prospect, focused on the person that you want to bring into your business. Because if it's about you and how strong you are or how fit you are or what shape you're in, it's a great advert. And I'm not saying don't share that stuff, because yes, it's important to share. But I'm going to show you in a second the exact strategy I'll do with that. But you need to make sure that when you share it, it's focused on what you've achieved and how you've got there. And then you are, again, angling it back to them to say, I can help you do the same thing. But when I look at coaches' pages, I will go on there sometimes and they'll tell me that they're struggling to get leads. I'll go on there and it does not look like a page that is a coach's page. It looks like more like an athlete page. So look, I've done this before and I've said it loads of times, but I'll tell you again, if your page hasn't got a clear photo of you, if it hasn't got a clear bio of who you help, and if it hasn't got a clear way of them contacting you with content that is focused on them, then you need to change things within your profile because they are the base level stuff that you need there. And if people land on your page and get bored or don't know what to do or don't know what you do and don't know who you work with, and then no wonder you're not getting any leads through. So this is the system that I'm gonna walk you through. We've got the way that I work with people right now, and bear in mind as well, I've had 15 years in the industry. I have had mentors all my life, and I've done most things I feel that are the shiny object stuff. And what I mean by that is I've hired a big team. Then I felt like a McDonald's manager because I was just fixing problems all the time. I've had a VA, but I felt like I was then just correcting everything that they did wrong. I've had people that have brought tons of leads in before, but again, that just gets you leads and they're not the right people. But we need to bring it back and look at the business. But I've done all these things. I've gone through all the shiny object type of stuff. But what I work on right now is something called the growth engine. And this is quite simply, it's a new method. It really is, because first of all, it's something that I got taught 6 months ago by my mentor, and I've then chucked everything else that I know within it to then now make it for online strength coaches. And look, you tell me if I'm wrong, but there is nothing better than having somebody look in your business that, one, has what you want, and two, has been exactly through those steps. You know, I've not been gifted this position at all by all means. I've been through every single pain and battle to get here, but that's now why I want to show you this whole new system that will change the game for you. And with this, there's no upfront like ads or anything like that you have to do. That comes later on down the line because you need to reach new faces. But then also it's a predictable system because you know exactly what you need to put in and it's repeatable process. And then we've got the fact that it's real, authoritative, and you're going to increase your income from doing it because it's not just about the attention that you're getting, but it's about the money that you're banking as you go through. And this is honestly what I would, if I was a coach starting all over again, this is what I would do from the off. And it's simply because it's not a one strategy, it's a little bit of everything. And you're probably thinking, what the hell is it? Just tell me. So here we go, right? I speak to a lot of people that are stuck between like gym floors or just constant fatigue from grinding away every single day. But when you look at the type of content people are putting out, they're doing the content that everybody else is doing. And if you're copying somebody that is, let's say, much further ahead than you and they're still getting leads, it's not because of the content they're putting out, it's because the reps they've put in to get to that point, right? It's really important that you understand that, because if you were to, a lot of people, and the reason I talk about copying, right, is because a lot of people compare themselves naturally without even realizing. So they're comparing themselves and they're going, I'm comparing myself to this person and I need to do what this person does. But you have to remember they're not at the stage that you are. So, example, if Coca-Cola put a free lead magnet out where, give me your email address and I'll send you a can of Coke, right? Maybe they've done it before, maybe that's a crazy idea, I don't know. But if they did that, they wouldn't need to put ads behind that because everybody knows Coca-Cola, they've got a massive following, and most people would probably want a free can for the sake of an email address. There is no need for them to push hard to do that. But you have to think of what level people are at. So when you get told by a mentor, go and do a lead magnet, and people will want it, like, why would they want it? You have to guide them to it. So we've got to think of a way that you bring them to that point. And this, quite simply, is the way that we do our content, and the way that we get them to revisit our content by certain strategies, which I'll tell you in a second. And the constant movement of helping yourself become aware. Wrong. Helping people become aware of yourself. And you see, this is the thing, when I'm doing a quick video, I've not got any editing. Things like that won't be cut out. But if you're not in a position right now where you have a constant strategy of your content, if you haven't got some form of freebie that you can give away that you know is worth giving away because people have told you they want that thing, which is normally a pain point of people's. And then if you haven't got an email list that you're emailing to, and you are not reaching out to at least the warm people within your network, then what else are you doing right now? Because there probably isn't much else you can do at the level of, let's say, starting off in the coaching space. And you have to think of the levels that you're at. So if somebody's turning around and say to you, do adverts, build a funnel, this, that, and the other, head blown, right? I haven't got money for adverts. I don't know how to build a funnel. Bang, it's just, game is over. But look at, again, going back to things I just mentioned there, they are the things that are free and that you can do. So you need to at least do these things. So let me move you around and go through this. Like I say, this is rawer than raw. Okay, so what we have then is, these are the 6 things that I would really focus on right now and all your energy into. I'm going to be looking at the screen there because, like I say, I literally wrote this 10 minutes ago. So we've got, the first thing is the daily content rotation. So this is the focus of what you want to be doing when you're thinking about how much content in different areas shall I share, right? And quite simply, it's, think about it like this. So reels will get you the reach, okay? And posts will go to your current followers, and that's the deep stuff, okay? So think about it like that as you go through. But the split that you want to be doing is 40, 40, 20. Okay? Now, when I said earlier on about don't do too much posting your lifts and things like that, now there is it's massively important that you have personal stuff, i.e. you, your struggles, your life and all that sort of stuff, but also how you're doing in your sport, if you play sport or do sport, whatever, right? But that sits at 20%. It's important, it's vital, but it's not the way that you're going to get people into your business. It's just part of the mechanism, if that makes sense. And then we've got the value. So this is you helping people, showing them how to and everything else, and guiding them through things, giving them freebies, giving stuff out just like this, and building rapport with people without having to actually build rapport by physically doing it. And then other than that, we've got the attention. Okay, so with the attention, this is the stuff that makes them look at you and go, that's cool, or I didn't know that, or let me see what he's doing, let me see what she's doing. And it's the stuff that gets them to actually continue to watch you. You know, so you want to try and build your content around these things, thinking of each of these, and you want to split it down. If you're thinking, how the hell do I split that down? Punch it into ChatGPT. If I was to do 10 posts a week, this split, how many for each one of them, whatever it is. And whilst we're on the note of ChatGPT, that is the stuff that ChatGPT is good for, but do not use it for your content because it will absolutely kill your algorithm. It will kill your brain cells. I'm really direct about this because I believe this is going to happen over the years, right? ChatGPT is amazing. It really is. It's changed the game. But if you rely on it, what will happen to your brain cells? Very obvious, right? It's just like an old person, isn't it? Getting older, moving less, and they get older even faster because they're not moving their body. Right, number 2. I'm going to do these in different colours. Number 2 is stories. Now, within your stories then, so what we're looking here is 3 to 5 stories per day, okay? So quite simply, 3 to 5 per day. Now, think about what your stories are. Your stories are the behind the scenes stuff. It's the real life stuff, and throw in there as well the soft offers, because that is I always look at that as the behind the scenes bits. That is the stuff that people just they want to see, right? They want to be nosy about. But if you are showing up on your stories every single day, then people will start to believe what you say. They will start to, when I say believe, you know, I don't mean as in you're twisting around to think a certain way because it's a load of shit, because it's not. It's your way, but it's your message. It's the way you speak and the thing that you say to people. And if you show up daily doing that every single day, when you then put some soft offers out, people will start to like it and want to then bite at it at some point. Okay, and then number 3, we've got batch weekly. So I'm just going to put batch. So this is to batch your content. Now look, it should take you 60 minutes per week to batch your content and to plan it, film it, and post it, right? And I say it like this very, very specifically. Plan, film, and then I'm going to put schedule actually instead, right? But it's important that these are 3 different things, because too many people do all of this as one, or they'll do one at a time and they'll go through the whole process, right? Now think about it. Your brain cells within this period and this period and this period are all different things. So you don't want to be doing the same, you don't want to be switching, between this in the same run. You want to literally plan 5 pieces of content, 10, 20, whatever you're going to do. Then you want to film, again, that same number. Then you want to schedule that same number. It really is simple, and it sounds too simple to be clear or obvious why you'd want to do it. But trust me, do it, and then you'll turn around and be like, shit, that is genius. Then we've got the way that you do your content. You want to, wrong color. You want to then be looking at a very simple system. There's loads of different ways you could do this, but make it simple. But you could go hook, then you go in with an insight, and then you can go in with a win, as in like a client win, and then you can go in with a call to action, right? But just have some form of framework that you stick to that helps you with your flow, because a lot of people, again, they say they come to do content and they're like, what should I do? Number 1, you should be researching all the time. You should be having a notes section that you're constantly doing it. Number 2, you should be researching other people's and you know, guys within your industry that you look up to that are slightly ahead of you. But also 3, you should be talking about this so fucking much every single day that it rolls off your tongue because you spoke to someone this morning and that's what they said. You know, one of your clients may have told you a problem they had. Cool, I'm going to write that down and that's what I'm going to talk about next. I say this all the time to people. Message your clients and say, what is your biggest problem right now? Help them first of all, but then obviously make content around that. And just for the plug, if you are stuck with your content and you have not yet, and I'll say stupidly not yet, downloaded the free content creation planner, which is in the link below of this YouTube video, then I'll let you figure out how stupid you are. But trust me, you need to get onto that because it does all of this for you and it's completely free. And yes, that leads me nicely onto lead magnets, which, if you didn't know, what I just said to you is a lead magnet. So, lead magnets, and let's call them mini ads if you like. So the strategy that I use that has been an absolute beast of a system, and which is part of the growth engine, which I teach, which if you want to join my mentorship, drop me a message. But a lead magnet is part of the flow, right? It's a way of hooking people in to go, hey, come and look at this. Like right now, I'm gonna say this, right? I've just said, if you're struggling with your content, go to my lead magnet. I didn't call it a lead magnet, I call it something else, but the lead magnet is the term that we use behind the scenes, right? You go to that, you give me your email address, I will give you loads of cool content. You will go, shit, Dean is really quite cool. He gives all this away for free. I wonder what he does if I go to his mentorship. Dean, can I join your membership? Yes, bang, we're in. You make money, I make money. That is business, that is life. A lot of people get stuck at that point because they feel like investing is a risk. Well, look, too many people would have been, out of business by now if that was the problem. But like everything, the guarantee is your effort. If you don't put the effort in, you're not guaranteed anything, right? But if you invest into it with money and also with your time and effort and passion, then it will fucking work. So, lead magnets. What I do here is we have a lead magnet which is something of value. Okay? Again, just like what I've just told you. And then what I use is something called ManyChat. And ManyChat, if you don't know, is an automation system. It is an absolute killer thing. And if somebody comments the word whatever, I tell them to comment below, it will send an automation that I set up on the back end, obviously. And if you do it, you'll have to set yours up. Don't be too scared of tech, Jesus Christ. But then you will go through that and it will send automated messages, it will get their email and it will send them to the lead magnet. Now that will do it at volume, it will do it every single day, it will do it when you're asleep. And the whole idea there is you just drop some ads onto that there. If you spend £5 a day, that's £25 a week. If you then get 20 emails throughout that week, I'm not gonna do the maths, but you've just paid £25 for 20 emails and you split that down, you turn them into clients, you are laughing. And that's exactly how this works. So when you're doing your lead magnets, just look at the exact thing that is in front of you and that your clients are needing support with, because it is there, it is obvious, you just need to actually do the research and ask the questions. Okay, I'm gonna change pen. And it's number 5. And number 5 is long form for trust. Now, we are 22 minutes into a video and you have watched 22 minutes of me talking a load of bollocks or a load of good stuff, you decide. But when you do long form videos, and that's exactly why, I will be transparent and I'll tell you the absolute truth because I live by what I do. I'm putting content out every single week to move you closer to want to buy off me, right? That's how business works, and that's exactly what you need to do for your guys. So, long form. Writing's a bit skewed. Long form content is gonna build trust. It's gonna get you to either like me or not like me. Click off if you don't like me, carry on if you do like me. And then we work with something called the 7-11-4. Okay, and that is a stat by Google, and it's called the Google rule of 7 hours worth of content, 11 touch points, and 4 platforms. If you consume that, you are more likely to buy. When you then buy, we move you along and then you become a client. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now, hoping that you will eventually buy, but also teaching you to do, because I've been doing it for 6 months now and I've took on more clients than I ever have doing this exact system. So when you're looking at this type of strategy, it's something that I know a lot of people think, it's another thing I've got to do. Well, look, there isn't a one thing that you do and you stick to that one thing. You need to do multiple things. And you don't have to do it to its absolute best. Look at today, I'm doing this completely raw because I'm packed up and we're ready to go soon. But when you look at the way that this is built, if you show up every single week, people will start to like you, you will get better at your content, you will start to talk with more and more passion as you go through, and you will grow your network. At points as well, you want to talk about your clients. Like the other day, Marcus hit over 12K in his biggest ever month, right? Drop things like that in and show evidence and prove things, and people will slowly start to build trust and eventually want to buy off you. And again, if you've not already clicked the link at the bottom, you really need to click the link at the bottom and get into the content planner. And then we've got the last one. What color did I go? Green. So, number 6. Then we move on to nailing your niche. Now, this is something that I know loads of people struggle with. And it was only this morning messaging someone on Instagram that I spoke about this, where he thought he was niche down, and he is to a degree, but there is so much more he can niche down with. And if you're thinking, Dean, well, why do I need to niche down? Because actually other people say other things and they've made it different ways. Great story. But here's the thing, right? If you niche down and you follow a process, then you will find out that that will win eventually. If you don't niche down and you follow that process, you will find out that that will win eventually. Granted. But the branding of let's say a solotrepreneur is so much more trusted than a branding of a big company. It's a lot more personal. It's a lot more simple to run. It's a lot more one-to-one based. You know, again, I've come away from the whole company side of things, of having a big team and lots of people operating it from different angles. And the one thing that I am focused on right now is to make things simple, to have literally, when we're looking at the business model, I'm focused on one person, one problem, and one promise. And if you think about it like this, right? So one person, one problem, one promise, right? The one person is the person you are talking to, and it will make your marketing easier. It will make your the way that you deliver your content easier, the internal stuff and the external stuff, the passion that you have about that product and that person. Everything becomes so much easier because you're just looking at that one person. You've then got the one problem. So that one person mainly has one problem. It will be around about some different areas of the problem, of course it will. But the point is, often that's what it will home into. And then we have the one promise. So the one thing that you get that person to, right? Think about it like this. My new system that I have in place is called Launch 7. It launches online strength coaches to 7K months. Why 7Ks? Why do I say 7K? It's the UK VAT. But as well, it's a number that I know a lot of people will be super fucking happy to have. I was at one point obsessed going for 10K months. I worked my absolute bollocks off to get 10K months, and what happened? Nothing, right? I hit 10K months, I screenshotted it, and went, fuck, that's a great moment. What happens next? Nothing, right? You tell me if I'm wrong, but if you had a 7K month consistently, would you be in a good place? Would you be happy? Yes. And this is exactly why I teach this model and this system to this thing. Because if you're heading for 10K months, 15, 20, and you haven't got your systems in place, it all becomes too much. And it is a bigger problem than you even think. Because you are focused on all these high-tech things when actually you just need to get your business in place to make consistent months and something that you are passionate about. And it really is as simple as that. Now, again, because this is super raw, I need to lean over and move my mouse because my screen needs moving. So, to wrap up for this then, it's when you think about the problems that people are having, it is not within all the different elements that may come into your head often, where you are making up that you are broke in different ways within inside your business. Most of the time, it is these things here. You do not need lots of leads coming through your business. You do not need a different way to train people. You do not need a company to come in and work on ads for you. You just need to put the work in yourself as a solotrepreneur. Stop thinking out the box and just think, how can I move myself forward? And when you start thinking like that, you will start to fall in love with your business again and actually take it where you want to take it, as opposed to being influenced by people on the outside. So think about this for your content strategy. Stories show up all the time. Batch your content, because fuck me backwards, too many people are saying they can't do content and they can't get leads, and they're not putting content out, and they're trying to do all these complex different ways of doing content. Just literally get a camera, think about a problem, use the hook, insight, win, call to action framework, whatever, anything, and just get content out. When you do that every single day and keep showing up, you will get better at your craft, because you're doing it all the time and you'll get lots of feedback. And then we've got lead magnets with many chat sequences. Yes, that goes into a little bit more techie stuff, but it's a great way of actually growing at a faster rate. And obviously you can put ads on this as well for £5 a day. Then we've got long form. Start doing some content, because look, if you're passionate about what you're doing, you know what you're on about, then start doing it even more. And then you've got the simple 1-1-1 system, which is going to take you further than anything. So look, if you enjoyed this video, drop me a message, right? And tell me the one thing that stood out for you the most, because I would love to I'd love to know. But also do this one thing, right? Go and click on the link below and get yourself onto the content creation machine that I have built for strength coaches that will take you to the whole new level. All you need to do is give me your email address. I'm going to email you a few times, and you may sign up and you may not. But if not, you're actually in my flywheel by that point. And look, if you invest into me in the future, cool. If you don't, completely cool. But I'll be here when you need it. Peace out.